As I record this today, the inauguration of Donald Trump was this morning, an event that many people, I'll just say, look to with some dismay. The cabinet that he's appointed so far, it looks pretty disgusting, and anyone who cares about human rights, about nuclear weapon disarmament, about the possibilities of a planet that survives the ecological horrors that we're unleashing upon it, is very disturbed by this man, quote unquote, put in charge of so much power, thanks to populism and the power of the image. It seems to happen a lot with whenever celebrity types run for office. Look at Arnold Schwarzenegger, Jesse Ventura, I forget who else, but there's something about being a popular image. It allows you to gain power that you're probably not really meant to handle, but that's how our society, our media works. So for whatever reason, this man is in charge. Anyways, this leads me to this book that I mentioned before, War No More. Can you see it? I talked about this in my best books of 2016, so I just want to talk about it a little more, because this is a very timely and very important book that I suggest you read. I mean, it's called 3 Centuries of Anti-War and Peace Writing, and it really is a surprise to me, because I had no idea. I know very little about the peace movement and how long it's been in place and as an organized movement. You know, I've told some people about this, and they were like, what does that mean, peace writing? Like, the idea of an organized attempt to create peace on Earth is almost unheard of to some people, because it's like, you know, when you need to fight wars, you fight wars. And what does it matter if you want peace? You have to fight them. But the people in this book come from a lot of different angles. Some of them are religious, some of them are not religious, some of them are like connected to communism, to socialist causes, to civil rights. That was a developing theme in the 50s, 60s, 70s. There's all kinds of different angles that you can approach the idea of peace and making peace in our time. There's a book that Steven Pinker, I believe, that wrote. It's called Better Angels of Our Nature. I'm sure about the title, it's not the author. Pretty sure Steven Pinker. And it's a long book that documents the decline in wars, in killings that we've seen in the world. That, you know, if you look back 120, 30 years ago, Europe was so divided, and the idea in 1900 that Europe would be at peace for the most part, and that countries like France and what constituted Germany at the time and England would be allies and at peace was fairly inconceivable, like inconceivable. So we look at the Middle East today, other hot spots in the world, and we think they're never going to be at peace. But I have optimism about it. I think that it's a matter of developing a certain awareness among people and cultures that war is not going to solve our problems, and that we can live together, but it's just a matter of time. And we also have so many powerful weapons that all we need to do is make a mistake once, and there may be no going back. So this book gives you a lot of ideas for how we can go forward from here. I don't know if there's a simple solution. In fact, I pretty much guarantee you there's not one simple solution. It's going to take a lot of ideas and a lot of willpower, but I still have a lot of hope that it's possible. Anyways, this book, though, one of the first pieces in it is this, I believe, Iroquois. It's from this Constitution. I wasn't even aware that Native American tribes had constitutions with groups of each other that, you know, they didn't have a a writing system per se. They had these mnemonics that they used with beads to construct this constitution that had, I think, over 100 articles, which is kind of amazing to have a formalized constitution without a writing system. That's incredible. So that's just one early example in this book about peace writing. So it goes back quite a ways. There's all kinds of different pieces in here. It's not just essays, it's essays, speeches, because in the 19th century, speeches became a big thing. They were like a touring operation, like you go from town to town like a concert. It was a big deal for some authors. So some of the pieces in here are essential, like William James, The Moral Equivalent of War, Thoreau's Civil Disobedience. There's a great speech by Martin Luther King Jr., Beyond Vietnam, I think the name is. It's on YouTube too. I still haven't listened to it, I want to, but I read it and it's amazing. It should be in everybody's, they should read it. Yeah, so in addition to that, there's poetry, there's photos, there's Calvin and Hobbes cartoon, there's play excerpts, an incredible range of things. And I think I said this before, that anthologies are notoriously uneven, and this, it has its uneven points. There's definitely better pieces than others. But more than a lot of anthologies, it's very high quality stuff. So I got a lot of ideas, a lot of inspiration, and maybe that's what we need more than anything in this moment, is inspiration. So many people are doubting our future, they're very pessimistic about what's going to happen. I don't know, I mean, maybe it'll become so bad so fast that we'll be forced to change something in a significant way. That's what I hope for. So, but being prepared and learning ideas and interacting with networks of people with similar goals, peace, education, universal health care, things like that, and spending less money on weapons, military spending in general, less money spent on the national debt interest. You know, we could feed every person on this planet. We could provide a good education if we allocate resources, if we put our energy towards it. And I think that's what we need to learn to do. So if you're interested in any of that, please check this book out. It's very, very good. The Library of America, I love their books. I often compare them to the Blu-ray and DVD manufacturers' Criterion. They have such a high quality standard. I could read Library of America volumes and watch Criterion videos exclusively for the rest of my life, and it would be a wealth of ideas and stories and inspiration. They're great stuff. I want to read more of these anthologies by Library of America because I just have total respect for them as a publisher. They put out so many great books. And if you want to check out one of their best, here it is. Go get it.